Hi, Doug.
Good morning. Good to see you.
Yeah. How are you?
I'm doing well, but it's cold.
What's the
I'm
temperature?
freezing in SoCal.
Yeah, well, I just got off our coaching call. And it's you guys are funny because it's so cold right here. I think we woke up, it was like -20 out.
Oh no.
So right now it says it's 9, but feels like -5.
I get it. I grew up in Michigan and spent 10 years in Boulder, Colorado.
Oh, what
But
part of Michigan? I didn't know that.
oh, Flint. Flint.
Okay. I
Yeah.
grew up in Stevensville. Do you know where that's at?
Stevensville?
Yeah.
I don't.
So like, us Michigan people use our hands, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, this is like Detroit. So it's like Southwest Lower Michigan over by Benton Harbor, St. Joe.
Okay, Benton Harbor. I
Yeah.
bought Heath kits and built them, electronic kits, and you build
Okay.
them. Heath kit was in Benton Harbor.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I grew up there. My family's still there, and I moved here in 2006.
cool. Yeah.
So I didn't know that. That's
Yeah.
Well, hopefully you get warmer. I see you drinking your warm drink. So,
It is. It's coffee with hot chocolate in it.
oh, jeez. I know, I think it's kind of like a two. So I have my coffee every morning, but days like this, like the sun's out,
Yep.
but days like this, it's like, okay, I think I need my second cup. And it's
Yes. Yeah. It's overcast and it may be 55 or 60 outside. I'm not going outside. That's cold. That's cold for here.
so my father-in-law visited from Florida for Thanksgiving. And I mean, we had the house at like 70 and I'm like, oh, like dying. I'm like, I can't do this.
70 is too cold for me. I need 76.
So we go to the Hawaiian Islands every right after Christmas. So I'm very much
Okay.
looking forward to some warm weather.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Welcome everyone. Charles, good to see you. Ed, always good. So I'm not sure who the other person is. If you want to type your name, all I see is Remax. That would be great. Um, it is hard to believe that 2024 is just about done. I mean, I'm kind of at a loss for words. So we have today. So I'm going to keep today simple. I'm going to review some things that I've said before. Hey, Jeremy, how are you? Welcome. And then we have our final event next Thursday. So I always try to do something really big for the group at the end of the year. This is my second year doing this. And so um, you don't want to miss out on that. I'm definitely going to give some freebies away. So today, stay till the end because we are going to random your names and see who's going to get free access to my boot camp. So the boot camp is really, really great. It's a Facebook group, kind of like the group you're in now, only like a bunch of short sale stuff, right? So there's 10 modules that I created, and it really essentially gives you a really good um, overview of short sales, okay? Lots of free stuff in there. I think it gives my questionnaire. So we'll randomize at the end of the presentation. And this one shouldn't be too long. If you haven't registered for next week either, I will post the link in a minute. All right, before we get started, are there any questions maybe from the previous weeks or something you would like me to answer today? Okay, bear with me. I've had this cold, doing much better, but yeah, that cough, I think it's going around all across the United States. Hi, Grace, welcome. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen and we'll go ahead and get started. If you haven't been with us before, we're live every single week. I love to train, I love to talk, short sales, distress situations. So join us every Thursday. This and next week are our final ones, and then we'll return January 9th. Encourage you to take some time over the holidays to unwind and, family first, right? So welcome today. Like I said, I cannot believe that today is December 12th. But anyways, why short sales in 2025? And so I use the term short sales, but lately over the last couple of years, it's really like distress sales, okay? I still have two deals left. One's closing this afternoon, and the other one I am just waiting on the stinking second mortgage approval letter. Both of them are short sales, okay? And so once I get those done, I'm going to analyze my year and I'm going to post the numbers like, hey, what is my percentage of deals closed from my attorney relationships and my direct mail marketing pieces that I send out, which are highly effective. And that's what I love because I get calls from those letters, postcards, depending on the week, and I can refer that business over to my attorneys. So I say short sales, but I also mean equity sales, which essentially are these homeowners that have all this equity and they got auction dates on their home, but it's on a short sale. So that's kind of where we're at right now. And I'm not sure exactly how your market is, but more so, and Charles is in Chicagoland, so I'm curious to know your opinion. But for me, it's leaning more towards short sales now versus the equity sales. I have closed a lot of equity sales this year, but like these last two ones are short sales. I think in November I had an equity sale, a short, and then just like a referral. So it's kind of all over the board. But back when I started, it was 100% short sales. But look, there are a lot of families across the United States that are struggling. I see it, I track it, I'm in it every single day. So you absolutely can handle short sales and distress situations in 2025. That's all I've done since 2007, and I've made a living doing it. So if you're looking for a niche, hop on in. All right, so if you're new, I like to answer questions. So feel free to post any comments, any questions in the chat, and I will pause and answer those for you, okay? All right. So what are we going to talk about today? So really I'm going to just go full into short sales and why I think they're awesome for you guys, okay? I know there's a lot of stuff that has been going around, and short sales sometimes get a bad name, and it's not. If you just do it the right way, if you have a team around you who really truly believes in helping the homeowner and doing things the right way, it will help your business. It will. So we're going to talk about one, not a lot of competition. Why is that? And we're going to talk about commissions. And then my experience I'll touch on with these last two deals, how it worked with buyers' commissions. I get that question a lot, like, hey, are you getting 2.5% approved for buyers or whatever? So I will tell you what I do. And then, of course, the only way to make this work is with the consistent, deal flows. So how, right? So let's talk about competition. So I know Doug's in California. I think Ed and Jeremy are both in Oklahoma. Grace, I'm not sure where you're at. Feel free to comment if you would like. And then I know Charles is here in my area. So
I'm in St.
Illinois,
Louis.
what?
St. Louis.
Oh, St. Louis, welcome. Okay. So if anyone wants to post what they're seeing in their area, feel free. I like to, talk about all that. But all right, let's move on to number one. So less competition. It's because most agents, they really do try to avoid this niche. Why? I don't know. Maybe some of you have tried to avoid these deals before. I get a lot that, oh, we'll talk about the commission on the next one, but a lot of people say they can't make any money or, they're a lot of work. But look, do the research in your area. Are there people out there, agents out there handling these types of deals? If not, why wouldn't you at least try? You could stand out more. Even in this big Chicagoland area, I still do enough business to, make it work for me, right? Right now, my average sale price is around 310. We just talked about this on my previous call, okay? So even if you close one deal a month at 310 at 3.5%, you're making over 6 figures, right? Now it's going to be a little bit different in, like, say, California, because the cost of living is higher, right? I mean, Illinois sucks, but if I could leave, I would, but I can't. We're stuck. But there is not a lot of agents. They want to avoid this niche because, one, they think it's too much work. You can't make any money. So let's talk about the too much work part. It's actually not. But if you go to your managing broker and they say, and you say, hey, I got a heart. I want to help these homeowners. I want to educate them, especially the ones that are in denial. If you are dealing with homeowners that are in denial, you have to come next week, because I think we have created a solution for that inside of the collaboration that we have inside of the community. So we're very, very excited about that. But it's not a lot of work if you have simple systems in place. So if this niche is something you're looking into, I would go back to the 2 years worth of trainings we have in our group and just get to know what we're doing in here. Watch some of the trainings. Definitely come next week. But it's not a bad niche at all. You can make a very good living, but you can also make such a powerful impact in your community. And then people will start to know, oh my gosh, you're behind on your mortgage. You got to go talk to Heather. Got to go talk to Doug, Ed, Grace, Charles, Jeremy, whoever, right? It takes time, but word of mouth is like the best form of marketing, right? Do you have to prepare packets and stuff for the banks? Yeah, you do, but do it on your own at the beginning, and then you can delegate that task out. I haven't prepared a packet in years because I have my transaction coordinator that does it now. So what? You're shuffling a little bit of papers. The whole point is to go to this property one time, okay? So the way that we do it is, like, for example, I was really hoping not to take on any more listings at the end because Christmas is coming and we're traveling, right? But guess what? I got a call and they need help. So I'm meeting them on Tuesday. Did everything up front on the phone. We came up with an entire game plan. He knows when I come there on Tuesday, we are going to sign paperwork and get photos. I am not doing professional photos on this property because it is a not so nice, okay? So I'm going to be in and out in probably 45 minutes because he knows that, it's quick. Some of them, if they're still living there, it will take a little bit longer. They got lots of questions. Okay. But that's a whole point, is you can tailor it around your schedule. It doesn't take a ton of time. We have all the packets, all of that. So there's really less competition, like I said, because most agents really avoid the niche. Any questions on maybe why, or, have you looked at competition in your area? I'm curious. A lot of people will say, I'm a short sale expert. Okay, what does expert mean to you? For me, it's like if you've only closed maybe a handful of deals and you have no one around you that will help. A lot of managing brokers have no clue what's going on. My managing broker, every time there's a question in the office, whether it's here in Illinois or Florida, they will send them my way, which is really crazy, right? So don't get discouraged if your managing broker says, yeah, why would you want to do that? Okay. If I listened to everyone that asked me, why the heck would you want to do short sales back in 2008, like you just said, Doug, I would not be where I'm at today. My husband wouldn't have been able to start his business. We wouldn't have been able to build our dream home. We wouldn't have been able to send our kids to good school. None of that. All the good stuff takes time. Okay. So Doug says I was a CDPE back in, yeah. It's not insane like it was then, but look, they're still out there where you could make a very good living, or at least implement it into your business, what you have now. Maybe you are closing a couple deals a month. Okay, add short sales in or distress sales, and it could be 3-4 deals a month, right? If you are consistent with your deal flow, then you will be closing deals every month, right? but I don't think a lot of people are consistent. They get discouraged. Oh, I sent out 2 weeks of letters. I didn't get any calls. I pretty much do not get any calls in December, but I still send out those letters because they're getting them. They're putting them to the side because right now it's Christmas time. They don't want to do anything except, holiday stuff. They don't want to deal with it. And then guess what? Your phone starts to ring in the new year because they're like, ooh, yikes, I got an auction coming up, right? So I would take a look at your competition. I kind of talked about it with this a little bit last week to, dive in deeper in your area. Now's the time to do that. It is December 12th. What are you going to do in 2025? Okay. Hey, Melanie, how are you? All
How
right,
are
number two.
you?
Hi, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Happy to have you here. If you have any questions, just feel free to either unmute yourself or comment in the chat. Okay, so number 2, higher commission. Do I really make money on short sales and distress sales? Yes. I've been handling these since 2007. My first couple of years, no, I did not make that great of money, right? Because it takes time. But I cannot remember a year that I did not make 6 figures, okay? Even during the slow time. And I say slow, it's because I'm still getting a ton of calls, but the calls that I'm getting, every single family is in denial. They want to keep the property, yet they don't have a job or have no clue what's going on. Severe denial. But like I said, you got to come next Thursday, and I will have some people from the community kind of chatting on how I think we've come up with a solution for that. We'll see, right? But that would be so great because these families are losing these homes and they thought, oh, I'm getting help from an attorney. Nope, I just had one go to foreclosure and they thought they were getting help from an attorney. Or they get abused, or like someone's out there taking advantage of their situation. It's so sad. But anyways, so I'm going to give you a couple of examples. These 2 deals that I'm getting ready to close. Okay. One is today. It has 2 mortgages and it had an IRS tax lien. So I've actually gotten a lot of questions lately about IRS tax liens. If it is a short sale situation, you absolutely can get that IRS tax lien released from the title of the property, not the person. It will still run with that person, right? But they will release it from the title of the property because it is a short sale and the seller is not making a profit. Okay. But you cannot get that IRS tax lien release until you have the approval letters on, in my case, both mortgages. Okay. So we've already done all that. It's closing today. First mortgage is, bear with me. I got 2 deals I'm trying to get close. Both of them have 2 mortgages. The first mortgage is Shell Point and the second mortgage is BMO. Okay. All ready to go, closing today. There was no issues whatsoever with getting the 2.5% approved for the buyer's agent. No issues at all. So the way that I take the listing on a short sale is I put in 6%. The sellers never paid the commission anyways, okay? So there's really not much change for us. So I always give 3.5 to my side. Why? Well, because these are a little bit more work, right? My team's doing this, I'm doing that. And so I give myself 3.5. I always give 2.5 to the buyer. Now, if the buyer's agent sends in a form that says I want 3, I tell them no. We're going to ask for 2.5, period. You are going to the house and you're showing it and doing an inspection. You want to do all the paperwork for the bank and make those calls? Probably not, right? So I'm not having any issues with the 2.5%. That's today's deal. The other one, this guy has not made a mortgage payment in 5 years. Welcome to the state of Illinois. The first mortgage is with BMO, and the second was actually sent to I think it's a credit agency. It's called Real-Time Resolutions. And so the first mortgage actually expires tomorrow, but I got an extension because the second mortgage, it has been a month and I have not approved it. And I don't know what is going on, but it's very annoying. Also with that one, they approved 3.5 to my side, 2.5 to the buy side. So in my experience, is there paperwork with short sales? Yes, there is. Do you have to get organized with it? Yes, you do. But there's a process and we keep it simple. But I like short sales because I'm making more money on them, right? And then I know that that short sale person is going to be so thankful for my help that they'll use me down the road. And I do keep in touch with them as long as they're not on the run for murder or something, which I've had before. So it is higher commission per deal. All right. So to give you an example, if right now my average sale price for the year is 310. Now that's going to go up because both of these prices, one's 400 and one's 325. So the average is going to go up, but let's just use 310 is my average right now. That's $10,850. So I'm at a brokerage that I'm 100%, right? I got a small fee a month. And then, times 12, that's $130,000 just from consistently marketing to short sales. Now, at 130,000, my marketing expenses aren't even probably less than 10,000 a year. I don't know, but I do expense reports every single month. We basically buy stamps essentially. I already have all my attorney relationships. Questions on the commission, maybe buyer side, my experience with any of that. Now I do get a question actually. So if I get calls and they are equity sales, what do I do for commission there? Well, you have to go through and explain to them about the new commission, all that stuff, right? I do try to get 2.5 for me. Look, the whole point for these equity sales is to, yes, get their name off of title, but I want to try to save them as much money as possible. Those types of transactions, they're not hard. There's still a lot of moving parts, but save them some money. You never know the referrals you could get from them. So I typically try to get 2.5 with those, but always 3.5 with the short sales, unless the bank cuts the commission. Does it happen? Yeah, I'm not going to lie. It does from time to time. Celine Finance is a pretty big one for cutting it to 5. So 2.5 to you, 2.5 to the buy side, but it doesn't happen that often. All right, questions on the commission part, or maybe the competition that we went through on the first one. All righty. I know you all here is just trying to get free access to the boot camp, right? Just kidding. I like to give out free stuff, right? Very generous. All right. So the final one is really like the consistent deal flow. So is anyone right now marketing to distress sales? I'm going to take that as no for everyone. Okay, that's totally fine. Thank you, Melanie, for responding. You need to put it on your list for 2025. You got time, okay? Even if your area, you could just search in your area. So, but that's a thing. So whatever your area is, so like if I go up here and I put Chicago short sale experts. Now you may like what I'm about ready to say, or maybe you don't, but you know what? So I don't do a ton of marketing online. Most of my business comes from the relationships I have with the attorneys. Cool, Doug. I like that idea. But okay. So one of the short sale experts in Chicago, she followed me for a very long time and she joined my community. But short sale, so you could just look here. So here's the thing. You will find all these websites of people that say they're a short sale expert. Well, I could literally sit all day trying to figure out okay, are these people really experts? So you find out who the agent is and then you look them up and see how many deals they've closed. And, I could go on and on and on because I can't stand when people say they're experts or specialists and they haven't done that much or they're not even a part of community, okay? There's not that many communities out there that can really help you navigate these deals. So you would just want to search your area and see who you think is a short sale expert, and you can look up their closed deals online. Everyone in 28 or 2008 or back in the day, everyone in Chicago was a short sale expert. They just were. I'm sure it was the same in all the other hot areas, Doug, maybe California. So an expert to me just means something very different. Now there's a lot of community members in my group that haven't closed a short sale, but they have it on their heart and they want to. And so the great thing about that is when they have questions, they can come directly to us. I have seen everything when it comes to these wacky types of transactions. So I would just search in your area. But the way to become that short sale specialist is really through the consistent deal flow, getting your name out there, attending events. And we will talk about the things that you can provide to these homeowners and these attorneys at the events next week. Excuse me. Okay. So consistent deal flow. So for me, for many, many years, and I'm getting ready to analyze all that, my number one lead source was attorneys, okay? Bankruptcy, divorce, foreclosure defense, probate, not really real estate. I had one real estate attorney. He's pretty much retired now that I worked with over the years, and I did do a lot of deals with him. But I feel like real estate attorneys tend to already have someone they're working with. So if you are that someone, awesome. But I want to go to the attorneys that have these clients that need help, right? And that would be foreclosure defense, that would be bankruptcy. Divorce too. Divorce cases are very tricky though. Okay, so you got to learn how to get that consistent deal flow. The key word here is consistency. You cannot just send out a letter and expect to get a call. They have to consistently see you, Doug, whether it's in email campaigns, out in the community, social media, at their attorney's office, you know? So I got a call from one of our direct mail marketing pieces last week. And I already knew the attorney. I worked with him on who he was getting ready to file bankruptcy. So that's the great thing. They're seeing Heather Keller everywhere, right? Emails. You could do text campaigns. We do text campaigns in our community. We've put a halt on that for the holiday season. So emails, texts, community events. You could even sponsor different things, right? Attorneys for sure. All those attorneys I just said. The letters, okay? There's lots of different ways to be consistent with the deal flow. And that's kind of where next week comes in, because not everyone wants to go out and build a relationship with an attorney. It's like, that freaks me out, right? Not me anymore, because I'm pretty sure I know more than they do. But eventually we will encourage you to jump outside your comfort zone and go build those relationships with attorneys, because it has been so beneficial for my business over the years. Okay. But that you may not want to start out with that. Okay. No problem. You want to start out with, this new piece that is going to hopefully solve the problem of the denial. We'll see. But consistent deal flow is really, really important, key. So if you're planning to take on this niche next year, I think next week will really give you that consistent deal flow options, okay? I would really, really recommend, though, the bankruptcy stuff. So that kind of gives you a little bit of clue. So bankruptcy stuff and direct mail marketing. Now, it's really great to be able to educate these homeowners. And there's a lot of pieces that can educate homeowners, especially when they're looking at options in a foreclosure, okay? Or maybe they just want to move towards a short sale. Or maybe they filed a Chapter 7 or a Chapter 13. How do we educate them? Because even some of these attorneys don't. So that's a little bit of a sneak peek for next week. So why short sales in 2025? Well, not a lot of competition, okay? There's probably not. And even if there is, you can stand out in different, unique ways, okay? I was going to give you a clue, but I think that would give it away. So no, I'm not going to do that. Okay, so that's number one. Okay, number two, commission. While I never went about this as money, I went about as truly helping these homeowners. Like the best feeling is them giving you a hug or just all these kind words at the end when you've helped them through foreclosure, because they've been through so much. It's like a huge weight has lifted off of their shoulders, right? That is the best feeling in the world. That is why I do it. Now there's some deals that I'm like, holy crap, I'm going to pull out my freaking hair. But the good ones outweigh that. Okay. But because I've done it that way for so long, it has led to very good, income for my family and I. And then number three, the consistent deal flow. Like I said, my number one is attorneys. Well, how did I do that? Come next week and I will teach you all that. And then number two is direct mail marketing. Now, number three is typically past client referrals. Okay. And then I'm hoping my plan for next year is we had a training this year about Facebook groups and how to really take that, not necessarily real estate based, but implement your business into that. So consistency is key. Again, if you're planning to do direct mail marketing, don't expect to just send out a letter for a month. I would send it out consistently. If it's auction, it should go out every single week. Do it for a year. Okay. You got to spend money to make money. I'm pretty sure if you have a highly effective marketing piece, you'll get calls and you'll be able to convert those deals. All right. Any questions on any of that? All righty. Okay, so let me give you the link. So yeah, next week.
I'm sorry. I
Yeah,
did have a question. When you mentioned, did you mention something about commission when you said, what was it? You said like calling the banks, they had 2 mortgages on the home or something, and you got commission, 3% commission. It had nothing to do with the mortgages on the home, right? You didn't. I may have
No.
heard that wrong. Okay.
So, I think, let me give you the example of the one that's closing today. He hasn't made a payment in a while. Neither is the other one. That's just how the state of Illinois works. But it's different no matter where you're at. Okay. So I think he owes, it's a lot. It's like 500,000, something like that. Okay.
Wow.
500,000 between, actually, I lied. He has 1 mortgage and then he has 2 home equities, but because the 2 home equities were 1 bank, they combined them. Okay.
Okay.
So, everyone's like, well, how do you price a short sale? Good question, right? I know how Shell Point operates, how their BPOs, their appraisals and stuff are done. So we ended up getting it approved for 399,900. The amount that's approved, and wait, take a step back. So he owes 500,000. Well, how do you go about listing it? Well, it's not worth 500,000. You're going to list it where the comparables are, and you're also going to take into consideration, is it a dump or not, right? That's a huge thing.
Right.
And so that's how I price it from there. Now, there's a lot of other intricate things that we're not going to get into, today, but then I got it approved at 399,000. Okay. So that was what the first mortgage approved. Now, the first mortgage, if there's 2 mortgages, the first mortgage will tell the second how much they're allowed to get. Okay. So a first mortgage will give a certain, in this case, 6,000. This is a Freddie Mac deal. So if it's a Freddie Mac or Fannie Mae, the second mortgage has to accept 6,000. Okay. That's a great thing about Fannie and Freddie. Why would the second mortgage accept 6,000 when there's like 80, 90,000 owed? Because if they don't, and it goes to foreclosure, they get nothing.
Oh, okay.
So your commission should always be in a short sale situation, ask for 6. Okay. 3.5 to you, 2.5 to the buy side. And if they cut it, you know what? They cut it. Big deal.
Okay.
The end goal is to help the family.
Got it. So who cuts it? If the mortgage company cuts it, or the
Well,
family? Who are you saying?
no, the family really doesn't have any say. It would be like the end investor, whoever backs the loan. Sometimes they
Oh,
cut it,
okay.
but it doesn't happen that often. But I do like to tell you guys the reality of, everything.
Right. Right. And I'm dying to find out more about how to like formulate these relationships with attorneys. I've been looking for like events, I know there's not much going on this month, but in the future, I'm not finding a lot, but I did run across an attorney, a bankruptcy attorney speaking at a library. That's it's a little ways from me, but I do want to go and just see if I can give my card and
Yeah.
make an introduction.
It's definitely daunting. Melanie is in Connecticut, I think.
Yes. Mhm.
Definitely daunting to go build those relationships. It's easier to build them if you have like valuable resources that
Right.
not only could help their clients, but it can add value to their business.
Mhm.
So bankruptcy attorneys, I love building relationships with because I kind of really help them come out of their little shell of just bankruptcy. But yeah, I think you're
Okay.
scheduled for next week. If you're not scheduled for next week, here
I
is,
am. I think I am.
yeah, I think you are.
Okay.
I can check real quick. But that is
Thank
for
you.
next week. That is the final, basically power hour of the year. So I would encourage you to come. It will be recorded, but it will be beneficial for you to attend live because I am going to random off. Let me share my screen again. So yeah, so I'm going to random off today a free spot into my, my #1 short sale boot camp. But I also will give access to my coaching community. So that is a Facebook group. There is a lot of collaboration in this group. Okay. Lots. Always something going on in here. Okay. This group has been going on for like 3 years. So, I mean, you could search for essentially anything. There's tons of training. So one person probably, maybe more, depends, will get free access to that. But you have to register and attend. So you have to be there live. Okay, so if you haven't, please register for that. Are there any additional questions? I'll put my email in the chat as well in case there is. Okay. All right. So same as last week. I think you were registered, Doug, but that's okay. If it's a duplicate, whatever. Totally fine. Ed, I think you're already a member of the group. If you win Ed, I'll give you the business planning. So you're already in the group. I think that's Jeremy and Selena. Okay, am I missing anyone? We have Charles, Doug, Ed, Grace, Melanie, Jeremy, and Selena. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the way this works, someone's gonna, Doug, pick a number from 1 to 10.
3.
3.
It helps to unmute.
Okay, that's okay. Okay, so 3. So I love this randomizer. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of online sports breaking. My husband started that business many, many years ago. And so he uses like this sort of thing and it's just really fun. I do it live. This is what will be done next week. Pick 3, my lord. Okay, great. So Doug said 3 as well. So I'm going to randomize it 3 times and whoever's at the top will get access to the boot camp. And so I would say if you can stay on and I will get you access and stuff right away. I'll stop recording and then we'll get you access. Okay. So All right, so here's 7 people. So I think that was 1. So here's 2 times, okay? So the 3rd time, so whoever's at the top will get access, okay? And it doesn't cost anything, it's free. I'll show you what it is in a second. Melanie, congratulations.
Yay!
All right, let me show you what it is. So it is in our group, so we'll log off here in a second and I will, so this will be available next week as well. So there's a lot going on next week. Definitely come. So essentially, there's like a welcome and introduction, and then a workbook and a training video for each. And then there's short sale tips and a lot of like additional stuff is going on. So I give you the homeowner financial hardship questionnaire, the pre-foreclosure lead. So lots of extras in here for you. So if you want
Okay.
to just stay on for a few minutes, I can get you access to that. Otherwise,
Okay.
anyone else have any other questions? I'll post the link for next week. I think most of you, I don't know if everyone is registered, but make sure you get registered for next week. So so the way that I do things here is like I remember how it was when I started in 2008, okay? You're welcome, Doug. And my stuff is not expensive. And I have a really big launch into a new system next week. So you got to attend next week. I promise it'll be well worth your time. And you may get a freebie, and then we'll go through like discounts and stuff. So if you haven't registered, Grace, definitely register. I'm not giving any access or anything today. It was just the free boot camp for Melanie. Okay. If there's not any other questions, I hope everyone has a blessed weekend. And I hope to see you 1 week from today, same time, 11:30 a.m. Central. So no changes there. I expect it to be about an hour. I don't want to bore you, but I am going to go over everything. And then a lot of my community members will be on as well. So if you have questions, come on and ask them. Bye, Doug. Bye, Grace. All right, Melanie, I'm going to stop recording. Are you,
Okay. Mhm.